What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Tell Me More podcast presented by Major League Success. I have Cindy Jacobs with me. She is with Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services, Professional Realty. And Cindy, thanks so much for taking time to jump on here and to really, dive in and share your journey into this business and kind of, the path that you've had to success.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And I'm super excited, and those that have been watching, my podcast over the years, I'm super excited because a lot of times, I talk to agents in our marketplace, and I've been social media friends with them, and we know each other a little bit just from a distance, and I don't really know them on a deeper one-on-one level, and this is the same thing, right? Like we've been friends on social media, doing the clubhouse thing, and I'm excited because selfishly I get to learn a little bit more about your journey and a little bit more about you. So, Cindy, we always start about here on the podcast with growing up.
hmm
I'm always curious of family dynamics, life. Where are you from? Did you have any hobbies or interests growing up?
hmm Okay. Well, I was born in Zanesville and lived there most of my growing up years until I graduated high school. And then I moved to Columbus, lived here for a number of years, had my children here, and then moved back to the area in the Zanesville area. Um, and but then once the kids were grown, I decided I need to come back. This is my home. I want to sell real estate here. I built my business there, which was great, but I really wanted to sell in a larger market, and I'm so glad
Yeah.
I did.
What did in high school and stuff, did you have any hobbies, or were you in an entrepreneurial family?
You know, no, I really didn't, and as far as my family goes, they had my parents had different kinds of jobs. They both had worked in sales at some point, though, so, there's that, and as far as my working career prior to getting in real estate, I have a background in sales, so it just seemed like an easy transition to get into real estate at that point.
Got it. Did you end up going to college after high school or into the career field?
I did not. No, college just was not in the cards for me. My parents couldn't afford to help me pay for it. I couldn't afford it. I didn't really like school. I I just didn't. But then when I started to take my real estate classes, oh my gosh, I thought, "Oh, I wish I had," because I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I'm always interested in the dynamics of that because, I was probably part of the last group of maybe kids where the parents were still saying, "Hey, go to college because you'll get a good job." My parents did not force us to go to school, college, so to speak. I would say it was kind of implied, but
Mhm.
it wasn't forced, and I don't believe my views on schooling is I don't believe that you need to go to college in order to have a successful life, and especially in our business, right?
Yes.
And I was one that went to college for 3.5 years, graduated with a degree, and 3 weeks later I got into the real estate business. So
Yeah.
it did not serve me.
Yeah.
So what
Mhm.
so what did you do right out of high school?
Right out of high school, actually, went to I went to modeling school prior to graduating. Okay. And then, so I thought I was going to be this big time model or whatever. I signed with an agency in Columbus and I was a model for about 5 minutes. It didn't, it didn't work out. so, but that's okay because I'm glad, the path that I went on led me to where I am today.
Yeah, lead me up to that point of deciding that real estate was going to be the next move. And the reason why I ask is because I feel like sometimes in our industry, there's a lot of times where it's directed that you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to be successful,
Mhm.
right?
Cool.
And a lot of times in our industry, people get into real estate and it's their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh career choice, right? It's not typically it's not like high school real estate or high school college real estate. It's usually, this journey. And I find when I have agents on here and we're talking about that, a lot of people don't actually take the time to reflect on some of those big decisions,
Mhm.
like they lost their job, or like in my case, in college I failed calculus, which made me go and change my degree, which then led me to the decision of my degree didn't mean anything because of the degree I picked, right? So I was like, well, I might as well jump into real estate.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious of kind of what is that journey? What was that journey for you? What were some of the career moves that you made?
Mhm.
And then, what ultimately led you to that decision that it's time to get my real estate license?
Well, honestly, it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I was doing different jobs. I was in retail. I worked in customer service in retail, and then I was in direct sales with Avon. I'm still an Avon
Hmm,
representative. I'm 22
okay,
later.
there
I'm
you go.
my
Look,
own
look,
customer. But
I bet you've learned a lot,
yes.
and those I know those skills have transferred into the real estate business.
Absolutely, and I stood in as a district sales manager, so, did that for a while, and then, I worked in a hearing aid center. I managed the office there for a few years, and I really liked that, but it still wasn't my passion, you know?
Yeah.
And I just could not figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't have a college degree. So I didn't think that I
Mhm.
could have a successful career in anything without having that. That was a long time ago. Now it's not the case.
Yeah.
But my husband suggested that I take my real estate classes to get my license because I was obsessed with real estate shows on HGTV. It's like, I never thought
I already know what era that you're talking about and when you got into the business just by that statement alone. So,
Yes, yes. So I took my classes. I started in 2008, and I took a whole year to take my classes. I know it doesn't take that long, but that's all I could afford. So in 2009, I was licensed, and yeah, we all know what the market was like at that time. So
well, and I'll touch base on this in a second. I'm curious, what's one thing that from maybe the Avon side of things that has translated into the real estate business? Because look, I think people bash that sector, right? Like, and I'm not saying Avon is multi-level marketing, right? But like that type of product. And I think that there's so much information and strategy and tactics
mhm,
that us as salespeople can take away from that industry and
yeah,
apply it to our business.
definitely, definitely.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. What's
Yeah.
something that has translated for you?
So, building those personal relationships with your customers and then advising them on products based on your own personal experience.
Mm,
See, you can translate that to real estate because we build our business on those personal relationships and we advise even on our own personal experiences. So, I just kind of, started with that foundation that way.
yeah, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Now let's
Mhm.
get into the craziness, right? Like why '08 and '09, right? Like, what was it about real estate? I know obviously, HGTV was the thing back then. That's one of the things that first piqued my interest of real estate in college was, oh, I could go on and flip houses and I could make, what was it, flipping Boston or whatever. Oh, I could go make 60, 70 grand on a flip. Let me get into real estate and, let me figure out this investment side of things. And I was a little bit after you when I got licensed. You know, the housing market was in the dumps, right? You're coming, into a career that's 100% commission based.
Yeah.
What was it, one, about real estate that you had a passion for? And then two, why did you decide that at that moment when everyone was probably getting out of the business and telling you you're crazy, that you decided to get into it?
I just love helping people. I really do. I'm a people person, and the thought of helping people, buy a home, just really excited me so much. And I mean, 14 years later, I still just love it to this day. I mean, it's just so much fun. But yeah, I just wanted something different to do other than what I was doing at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have, doubters, supporters? Like, I find that some people, really latch on to the doubters, and that's what really fuels them to get going. And then I see others that, hey, I had an awesome support system that really, encouraged me to get through. Where did you stand in that?
Well, I mean, both sides really. I had doubters coming at me left and right saying, "You are crazy. You know, you know anything about this market?" And I would just tell them, "I like a challenge, and I feel like I can do this." Um, and then my friends and family were all so supportive, and they really they believed, I think, even more than I did, that I could be a success in this business. Um, it took me a long time, just to feel comfortable and think that, okay, yeah, I can do this for the long haul. Um, but yeah, I just stuck with it. And that's what you have to do. You just have to stick with it if you're passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah. And did I hear you right in the beginning? In the early years, you built it in Zanesville, and then you decided to transition to Columbus, or was it always here in Columbus?
No, it was, I built my business in Zanesville, and then I've been living here, again for the last 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
when you got into the business, instant success? Did you have some struggles?
Oh, boy, did I have struggles. Yes, yes. No, it was no instant success, that's for sure. It took me, many months to get my first sale. My first sale was only like $20,000, but it felt like it was $1,000,000 sale because that's way more than I could sell it for one customer in Avon. And, but yeah, I I had just to keep sticking with it and, hone my craft, and, and that takes a long time, and that's what people need to understand that are coming into this, that, you're not gonna be like this overnight success typically. You have to work at this for a number of years even.
Yeah. Yeah. I always tell people I always tell people it doesn't matter the commission amount. That commission check just hits differently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but every time I have a new agent that gets into the business and they have their first closing, I'm like, how did that check feel? Like, it doesn't even matter. We don't, not everyone's selling $1,000,000 homes or $500,000 homes. My first home, I think, was like 41 or $43,000 or something
Yeah.
like that. But like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, man, okay, I did it, right? I can do this, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
When you got into the business, you mentioned you had some struggles, right? It took you a long time. Like, how did you focus, or what did you focus on in order to go out and get business? Because we all do things differently. And that's part of this podcast is like,
Mhm.
it's not go be a top listing agent. It's not go door knock. It's not just you got to go and do X, Y, and Z. It's we all do things differently, and we all had success differently. What did you focus on, during the struggles, right, getting in, and then, as you started to build the momentum into your business, did you stick with it or did things change?
No, I mean, I stuck with it, but truly, it wasn't just one thing that I did. I did a lot of different things, but basically starting with my own personal sphere of influence and just talking to everybody I knew, letting them know I'm in real estate. Like in Avon, we always had this, um, I don't know what you would call it, but we had this thing that we would follow where you had to follow up with 3 people every day, you know? And so, again, something I can, take over to real estate. So I would just do that, and, that word of mouth really helps. People's tell their friends and family, "Hey, Cindy's got a real estate license. You should give her a try," and so that started to come to fruition.
let me ask you this, because I know, newer agents getting into the business,
Mm,
may struggle with what that SOI is.
yeah.
Did you sit down and, write that out? Like, what was one of the steps that you really focused on to grow that? Because I think sometimes uh, people get into the business, they're like, well, just sit down, talk to your SOI. Well, some
Mhm.
people don't even know the right direction and the right steps to take.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I did. In fact, I mean, I literally wrote it out, on from my phone, wrote down all my contacts, and then started, yeah, making calls, sending emails, um, making appointments to meet with people that way. I mean, I'm not sure if a lot of people are doing it that way anymore, but that's how I started out.
It's so funny because I always talk about consistency is like the number one thing that us as agents need to do, and Avon, it was three follow-ups every single day, right? I mean, you think about it, if you did that every single day for a year, I mean, that's over 900
Mhm.
follow-ups,
Right.
right? It's 900 touches, but if you only look at it as one day, you're like, oh man, like I didn't really do that much today. But it's
Yeah.
the compound effect, right? It's compound interest. It's over time. And I always tell people, like, if you reach out to 900 people and you can't get someone, well, then I know what the issue is. It's probably what you're saying, not you not doing the activity,
Mm,
right? And
right.
it's funny you bring that up because uh, my wife, for a hot minute, we were last year. It was last year, 2021. 2021, we decided to do a little bit more of a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, clean eating, all that. And she did Arbonne.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
you've heard me talk about this as far as on Clubhouse, of like looking outside other industries and figuring out, how can I bring that and take what they're doing over there and bring it into my business. But anyway, so she was doing this on the side, and enjoying it. And what they did, kind of like your three follow-ups, was they created a daily success plan.
Okay.
And it was a book, 90 days, right? These activities to do every single day. And if you do these activities every single day, you're going to have success with the company and with the product.
Cool.
Guess what I did? I took that and I copied it and I turned it into real estate.
Nice. Very nice.
you know, so
Yeah.
this is what I push agents to do, right? And this is, 23 different touches every single day.
Yeah.
A lot of it through social media, through follow-ups, through your SOI, like a lot of things that technically are free, that are
Mhm.
right in front of us. And a lot of times as agents, we just need a daily guidance, right?
Right.
So
Mhm. I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
I love the idea. I knew, see, like I know that there's always something in someone's past that has great impacts into their real estate business. So,
Yeah.
Cindy, I want to kind of go through that journey though of you getting into the business, right? The
Mhm.
struggles, and then you start seeing the business, build, and the momentum build,
Mhm.
up until the point, changing markets. What was, I know you mentioned in the beginning that you just wanted to come back to Columbus and sell in Columbus, but that's a hard decision, especially, when you just establish yourself, what, 9 years, 8, 9 years at that
Mhm.
point, and
Right.
then decide to, I know Zanesville's an hour and 10 minutes away, whatever it is, but,
Yeah.
you're still moving locations.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well,
Well, I tell you what, one of the things that I had already done was get more involved at my local and state associations. Okay. I think that is so important for all agents to do that because, again, you're going to build relationships with other agents, in your area from around the state. And that can be so beneficial to you for getting referrals and that kind of thing. Um, I worked my way from being just on the board of directors at my local board to becoming board president. And then that same year that I was board president, I was lucky enough to be selected for the very first class of the Ohio Realtors Leadership Academy,
mm,
and that was in 2016. So that was a complete game changer personally and professionally for me. I highly recommend for any Ohio realtor to apply. I sound like a commercial now, but but seriously, it was great for my business, and just becoming more involved, in those associations can just really, really impact your business.
can you dive into that a little bit and just maybe share one or two experiences as to why it has impacted your business or something that maybe you've taken away that, the academy has been something that's been suggested to me that I need to be doing for like the last 3 years in a row now, it seems like.
Yeah.
But honestly, before that, I was the agent that was not involved in anything, right? It was blinders on, head down, don't care about anything else. I'm just selling real estate, the team and no involvement anywhere else. So
Mhm.
maybe for those that are listening in that might be newer to the space or maybe not involved um, into the boards and all of that. Can you share maybe a story or two of how it impacted your business?
Oh, sure. I would say it was, the experience going through really helped me with my self-confidence also, because I feel like a lot of us, no matter how old we are, we can all have insecurities.
Hmm.
And, um, that was one of the things I really wanted to work on, and it did help me so much. And even with public speaking and just all the different things and getting into leadership and having those different leadership roles, um, Leadership Academy really helped me with all of that.
Yeah, I think as I continue to grow and get better, right? That's I always say the one thing for me is I always feel I'm a better leader by example instead of a leader from the sideline. So I
Yeah.
promise you, I will eventually do it at some point.
All right, and I can write you a letter of recommendation.
So when you decide to come back to Columbus, what was the same strategy to do it growing through your SOI, or what was the focus there? Did you have an SOI here?
Um, I do have an SOI here. I didn't necessarily dive into that, rely on that. I really pretty much started from the ground up again. When I first came here, I was with a local brokerage in Zanesville still. And then as I'm handing out my card, people would look at that and say, "Oh, I want to work with someone local." I said, "Well, I live here." And they said, "No, I don't even know your brokerage." Okay. So I took my time and just researched all the different brokerages. And then I was approached by Berkshire Hathaway, HomeServices Professional Realty, and it's a long name. Um, and they had everything that I was looking for. So that really helped. And that was part of my business plan too, to join a national brokerage. They just have so many tools that I didn't have to go outside of my brokerage,
Yeah.
to be able to use and have to pay for separately and all those things. So, that has helped tremendously.
Yeah, I had Larry Schottenstein on the other day, and you know, he was talking about as agents we all need who's right, and who's sometimes are not just people. Who's could be a brokerage, right? Finding a place, a home. We're all the same, and but we're all different, right? And finding the right environment to go into and to join could be a who for you. And if you're a newer agent, that could mean you not having to worry about paying for certain things, right?
Yeah,
Technologies and tools and systems and trainings and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, yeah.
and then did you just build the business then, just bootstrap and word of mouth?
Um, Pretty much, yeah, and start working with a lot of different lenders in the area, and, that has been so helpful as well, and getting those referrals and that kind of thing, so, yep.
Nice. I want to kind of pivot to kind of looking future and kind of goals and things of where you're looking to accomplish or what you're looking to accomplish within the business.
Mhm.
What's something that you're looking to accomplish over the next 12 months?
Um, in the next 12 months, I well, I would like to be able to double my sales. Um, Definitely. Yeah, that's really my one goal right there. It's just to
What
double
are
sales.
What do you think? What do you think that you would need to do or put in place in order to help you do that?
Hire an assistant. Yeah, do you see there was no hesitation there? Hire an assistant.
I find sometimes, like, a lot of times agents are so scared to take that next step, right?
Yeah.
I did a coaching call earlier this week, and the agent does about 30 to 40 deals on average per year,
Mm.
and it was the same questions like, do you believe I'm ready? And a lot of times as agents, you're never ready, right? But by you not making the decision to do it is actually the thing that's holding you back. Whereas and I told the agent this, there may be times where that assistant isn't busy. Well, guess what? That should motivate you to then go make them busy because you're paying them, right? And in
Right.
theory, that assistant's going to free up a lot of your time to allow you to stay on those activities that will really drive the business forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What
Yeah.
do you what are you looking to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Oh my goodness. I I'm not even sure if I've thought about it that far out. Um, I know on a personal level, I'm saving to buy a condo, so that's on my list there. But yeah, just keep working on my business, on myself. We can always strive to improve ourselves every day. I feel like every day is a fresh start. You can start over. If you had a bad day yesterday and a bad transaction or whatever, okay, today's a new day, and clean
Yeah.
slate.
No, I've had this conversation this year quite a few times, and it's and this 1 month can really change the trajectory of your year, right? You may have a bad year up to a certain point, but if you just stayed focused and locked in, in our industry, there's no cap on what we can make, every single month. And that 1 month could get you back on track. And one of the agents that I coach, he had a life event happen, like his first baby was born at the beginning of the year, and it really took him off of his rhythm, right? Because now you got the baby crying and stuff, and you know he went from two deals through the first 6 months to now he has six in contract right now, right? And it's just that's the great thing about this business is you can really change it around in 30 to 60 days if you want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cindy, what is a legacy goal for you? What is a goal that you're looking to hit when you're no longer here?
Oh my
Hey,
god.
we're getting deep now.
That wasn't on the list of questions you sent me. Oh my goodness.
It's hard because I think in our business, we don't get asked that a lot, right? Like, I think it's always typical, hey, what's your 1 year goal? What's your 5 year goal? What's your 10-year goal, right? But,
Right.
what is that? The way I look at this is like, what is that thing that you're always going to be chasing, right? Like, you may never accomplish it. You may accomplish it. But what's that thing that's going to keep pulling you through when times get tough? And what's that impact that you want to have? You know, and it may not be real estate related, right? It may just be, family or life or whatever the case may be. But I feel like that's an important question because I don't think that we actually put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I guess just being able to have the time to um, spend with my friends, my family, um, and the nice thing about this career is that there are oftentimes we can just pick up and go when we need to. Um, but yeah, my family means so much to me, and we're a little spread apart now, so it makes it difficult.
Yeah,
And that's just on my mind right now because I'm going to be going to see my son and my grandkids in Massachusetts on Sunday.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. I think, like I said, I think it was a question that was asked to me last year by a friend who read that in a book.
Mhm.
So I always throw it into these because I think it's important for us as small business owners, because there are the lows and those moments of time of like, what's that thing that I really need to go after and chase, right? What's that? I
Yeah.
call it the North Star. What's that North Star that I need to always be looking for? So,
Mhm.
um, Cindy, I appreciate your time, with us today, and we always end with, this last question, and it's, if you could give the audience, some advice, right? Either one piece of advice that you wish you had when you got into this business, or, if an agent comes to you just, asking your questions, or, coming to pick your brain, what would that be?
Hmm. Well, I think just, not being afraid to make mistakes because you're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn from every one of those. You're going to take that with you to every transaction. Um, I guess that would be my biggest piece of advice. But as a new agent, though, you just have to be self motivated and not wait for clients to be handed to you. You have to um, just get in the trenches and do the work, and you can be very successful. But you have just to motivate yourself a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah. I always tell people it's, there's not one thing that is going to absolutely kill or wreck your career, right? I think a lot of times people are so scared to make a mistake. I saw on the National Real Estate Mastermind Facebook group the other day that someone posted, this one agent was offering additional services, to get the listing and all of these things. And the comment was, well, I feel like there's a lot of things that could go wrong in this scenario. And instead of thinking about it as there's a lot of things that could go super right in this scenario.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we just feel like, if we mess up or if we screw up, we're going to lose our license, and, our careers are going to be over. And that's not the case. The best way to learn is to go out and do.
Yes.
The
Absolutely.
best way to learn is to go out and do.
Mhm.
Um, Cindy, thanks so much for, taking the time out of your day to jump on here with us, to share your journey, to getting into the business, and then your journey in the business. Um, I just appreciate you so much. I'm glad that we were able to connect. I know we've been social media friends and friends on Clubhouse and all
Yeah.
of those things, but really getting to know you a little bit better and learn your story, has been amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
For those that are listening in, those that are watching, reach out to Cindy. Her website is down below. If you're thinking about buying, selling, investing here in Central Ohio, if you are a real estate agent and you just want to reach out just to connect, make sure you do so. But Cindy, for those that are listening in, what is the best way for someone to connect with you?
Well, my website has all my contact information, and that is homestoriesbycindy.com.
Awesome, Cindy. Thanks again. And if I can do anything for you, please reach out to me and let me know. I'm here to help you.
I certainly will. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Okay.